Hello, welcome back. It is Tuesday, October 4th, so we just finished up our whole week at home for our Hurricane Ian, and now we are back in the groove. Obviously Monday was a little wild, which is why I didn't record, because it was back learning all our transitions again and all that good stuff, but I am here now. For those of you that are new here, my name is Kristen Langford. I am a pre-K teacher in Florida, and this is the weekly vlog. So this week's theme is fall. We have some pumpkins in here, some other little pumpkins, some rocks, some leaves, and just orangey colored Play-Doh, rollers, very easy. Still engages them because it's different materials. At art this week, we did pull it over to this table because we're using the back table to set up things for the pumpkin patch. But we have a fall tree. Our cool little Cricut machine printed out these trees. So first they just glue it on, then they use the fall colored daughters to just dab in some leaves. And after I show you sensory, to dab on some leaves, and then I will show you how they look. So far we have 4 friends that have completed it, and I love, this is my favorite part about art. They're all so different. This one got a little more painty than dabby. Same here. This one was all over the table. And this one, leaves are literally everywhere. And then the one up top has like 4 leaves. It's almost winter. All right, and then at sensory, we put corn kernels, which is a love-hate because they are so loud. I almost wish we could like fill this with felt and then put the corn kernels on top, but I don't know how that would work out. And then we just added little felt pumpkins, some fall leaves, and then these cards that you see here, they have small, medium, and large. So they have to find, like that's the medium sunflower, and then under here is the large one, and then somewhere else is like a little card, see how that one's smaller? So they hide them, and then they have to tell their friends to find them. Super fun. The kids are probably on their way back from lunch. We will hopefully be done with the pumpkin patch tomorrow. Our schedule's a little off because of Hurricane Ian, but I will share that with you as soon as it's ready, and I'll try to get back on here later. Hello, happy Wednesday. It's cooking day. I just took the kids outside, and the weather here is beautiful, so they actually enjoy being out there and don't come in like super sweaty, so that's always a good thing. I'm gonna set up the food. It is a pizza, so I'm have to preheat the oven. When they come in, they're gonna build their pizza first. Then we will do our book while they're cooking. We'll taste it, and then we'll do the other part of our book. So I'm just gonna set the camera up, get things all set up, and then I'll get back on if I have time. Happy Thursday. It's October, so I get to wear my I'll wait until it's quiet. Get it? Hilarious. And I also got some new earrings from Shein, however you say that, Halloween. So I am back on here. I'm gonna go through our small groups, and if I get to anything else, hopefully we do, because it's already Thursday and I can't stand waiting till Friday. So let's go. Okay, so for my group for math, this week our focus is still like reviewing shapes, but we are kind of doing positional words with shapes as well. So that's what my focus was. The other 2 math groups are still doing like a positional word thing, but it might not be really with shapes, more with like a cute theme type thing. Since we missed a whole week of school for the hurricane, that theme was fall, and then technically this week's theme is Scarecrow, so we just kind of like combine those together because they're basically the same thing. I'm actually unsure how I stretched that into 2 weeks, but nonetheless, that's what we're doing. So my activity is not themed per se. It's not like Scarecrow or fall, but it's called a shape grid, and unfortunately it's from my like district. They got it from another county though, so maybe it's online somewhere, but it's from Howard County Public Schools. But it's super easy. If you like this idea, you could really make it on Microsoft Word. It's just 6 boxes to make a grid and then a heart. And we used our machine that we have to cut different shapes. So we have a triangle, a rectangle, a square, a circle, and then I added the hexagon because a lot of my kids already got rhombus just from me like telling them one time, but hexagon has been a little trickier, so that's what I picked for my 5th shape, just to reteach it, you know? And what I did is that I would say, you know, put the hexagon above the heart, and so we put it above. And so we worked on above, below, next to, between, and I think that's it for this one. The tricky part is that when you say put it next to, like if I say put the green square next to the heart, it could go either way. So my higher group, they knew left and right, so we did left and right instead of next to, put it to next to the heart but on the left, something like that, you know. My other group, I taught them left and right and we tried it, but it was tricky. I mean, even me, I get confused with left and right and I'm an adult. And then my other groups, I just said next to, and I told them that it wasn't very specific, so you could put it next to over here or here, as long as when I say, if I put the green square here and I say put the yellow rectangle above the square, if it's here, then it's gonna be here, but for your friend, it might be here and here, and that's fine. So we started off by me being in charge of it and me telling them where to put it, and then my higher group, I partnered them up, and one of the partners got to tell the other partner what shape and use a positional word to put it on the grid, and then the other partner took a turn and told that partner what shape and where to put it on the grid, and so they were able to work together to use the words, which was really impressive. My other group, like a little bit under that, we did it as kind of like a group, like one at a time. The kid could tell the whole group at the table, like put your yellow square or your green square above the heart, and then everybody did it. And then I went to the next kid and they gave a direction. So they still had an opportunity to use the positional word, but I was still there for support because they would not have been able to do it in a partner setting by themselves. And then the other group under that, we just did the same thing. We cleared the board and did it again. And then my 3-year-old group, you know, that is like whoa, way over their heads. So what I did is I just talked about what the shapes were, what colors, you know, one of them is like working more on colors, the other one's kind of understanding some shapes, and then we did matching. So I just like laid them all out, not even on the grid, and I said, oh, I have a brown triangle, match it, and they just had to put the brown triangles with the brown triangles. So it's kind of like a sorting, matching type activity, but still I was doing the talking for the vocabulary for them instead of expecting them to say the vocabulary. For Miss Sam's group, she had 2 activities just as like a filler sometimes if it doesn't always work out. This is Find the Scarecrow, and I will link it down below if I can find it. It's Tech and Talk SLP, so it's like a speech and language because positional words are very speech and language, and it comes with directions, and so like it'll say find the scarecrow between some pumpkins, and so then they have to look at all the scarecrows, and down here is the scarecrow between the pumpkins. And so we use like little erasers, Halloween erasers, and we put it on that scarecrow when they found it. So they just had 4 of those, each kid had their own, and they did that. Then if they had time, which not every group had time, but most of them did, they just had a fun game. It's called Roll and Build a Scarecrow, and it's from my fabulous class. I'll also link that down below if I can find it. A blank little paper like this, and the directions, and then you just build it. So it's kind of practicing rolling a die, counting, and it's fun. The worst part about this was cutting out all the pieces of the little scarecrow guy, but it's from last year, so we didn't have to do that this year. Okay, and then Miss Whitney's group did another positional word themed fall-ish, and I might have a copy back here. I do, I have a blank copy. It is from Peyton's Precious Kindergartners. Link it down below. It just has 4 little pictures, and it has like the information right up here. So they had to say, you know, cut out the shapes, which was cutting practice for the fine motor, and then glue the leaf above the hill, glue the rake between the leaf and the tree, glue the scarecrow beside the leaf, glue the basket next to the tree. So it's just like review, but also cut and paste. And then if they had time, they could start coloring, and then they can color it at home. For whole group math, before I go into my small groups of reading, we did a Jack Hartman song about around on the farm, and he goes over a lot of positional words, so that was kind of like a review. And then our district with Mayan right now, it's a great resource. I wish everybody had it, but they had a lot of books with positional words. So like today's 2 positional words that we focused on was in and out. And there was a book. What we did is I put like a circle, like a hula hoop in the middle of the floor, and we practiced going in the hula hoop and out of the hula hoop. And then like yesterday, it was in front of and behind, and Mayan had a book for that. So we read the book, we talked about on each page what was in front of or behind, and then we lined up like slowly, and I would tell them, you know, Anderson, get in front of Ovella. And then they had to find where Ovella was and get in front or behind, you know? It's kind of like that hands-on practice, just a real quick little fun game. I'm trying to think what the other little games were, but I can't right now. So we just focused on 2 different positional words each day. And then tomorrow, since we don't have small groups, some people were asking about that. On Friday, we just do like a fun activity, basically with the standard that we're learning. So we're learning positional words, and we're also reviewing our shapes. So we're gonna have fun, and we're gonna do a pizza party with shapes. And really, it's so simple. We don't even have it ready, I don't think. We have shapes cut out, but it's paper plate. They're gonna color it to make it look like a pizza, and then they're just gonna glue some shapes on, you know? I might make it a little more like, oh, everybody get a circle, put on 3 circles. Or maybe after they build their pizza, we'll all have a turn talking about how many circles you put on yours. Tell your friend, or tell your friend how many squares, and something like that. Nothing too crazy. I know like in the older grades, they have like a sheet of paper and they fill out how many circles they use and all that. Like we don't need to do all that. We can have the discussion about it, and then that's good. But we have these cute little chef hats that we're gonna have for them to wear. And we have like a picnic table and like candles, like pretend they're not real, pretend candles. So we're gonna set it all up. I think that's it for math. Okay, so literacy groups. This week for my literacy groups, I did a lot of assessing. So I didn't really have too many exact things. I bought this amazing bundle. It was like $60, but I didn't really need all the things that are in the bundle because it goes all the way to like 1st grade. But this year, since I have some readers, I wanted to make sure I had the resources for them since I don't have curriculum, you know? And it is amazing. It's very science of reading, and it goes over like a letter and a sound. And then my higher group, it goes over like CBC words and all of that. So I'm gonna show you a little bit of it, but I'm gonna do a whole video on this bundle, and I didn't even make it. So I even forget who made it, but amazing. It's the best resource, and if it's something that could help you, I wanna share it. I'm just gonna give a brief overview. So it comes with a lesson plan for every letter. So my plan is for my 2 medium groups, like I'm gonna do the letter of the week, and whatever the letter activity is, that's what I'm doing for my small group. The lesson plan is very long, so I don't have time to get to all of this in one group. So you know how I do 2 groups, I like meet with each group twice a week. I'm gonna do like the beginning part of it in one group, and then the second time they come to me, we're gonna finish the lesson, but it's still all about the letter. My higher group has something totally different, and I just assess them on like what they could read CBC words, what they could write CBC words. For Miss Sam's literacy, it is the same. We did P pirates. We just did our P worksheet for Wednesday, Thursday, but the pirates are right over here. Super cute, as always. I get a lot of questions about these, but it's not a resource. All I did is print out a letter P, we cut it out, we added these little pieces that we literally hand cut with our hands on construction paper, just drew it, cut them out, give it to all the kids, and they build it. So it's not really something that you could like print out. I wouldn't even know how to do that, so, you know. Okay, and then Miss Whitney's group is fine motor. Let me see if I can grab that real quick. Okay, I think I showed you in one of my other videos, we just put in a binder all the different activities, so that's what we're going with. Each week they go to Miss Whitney twice, and unless I have something additional, we're just gonna do fine motor journals. So they just worked on tracing the letter P, and then it looks like they tried to write their own P, and this group is my higher group, so they drew a pineapple, because a lot of the kids, they need to learn how to draw things, so this is a perfect opportunity for that. And then they wrote the word pineapple, so with help, obviously, couldn't spell it themselves. So that's it. We need to get to our second rotation. Yesterday, cooking was pizzas, so it took like a very long time, and we did not get to small groups, so sometimes that happens, and we have to figure out how to fit it in, or just skip it and move on to next week. So we haven't decided what we're doing with that yet, but the kids are probably coming back in, and then it's gonna be literacy time, and then it's gonna be small group again. So the cycle continues. I will get back on here during lunch to talk about literacy, as well as like our whole group stuff, as well as science. and then social emotional. Oh boy, it's so much to remember. So you guys, hello, happy Friday. It's start with hello week. I don't know if your schools do that, but also, I don't know if you guys can relate to this, but I feel like 1 week in my life, I have everything together. I'm like fully prepared, blah, 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 good to go. And then like the next week, it's like a hot mess. I haven't recorded my Tuesday talk. I do have an idea though, and I'm hopefully gonna do that during lunch. And I just feel like there's just so much going on. I stayed up super late last night doing my lesson plans, and it's hard to keep up with everything, but that's okay. New day, let's do this. I am setting up for a shape pizza party, which is probably why I don't have time to do anything, because I do way too many like elaborate things, but that's the fun stuff. That's what makes it fun. So we've been learning shapes galore, and now today we have shape cutouts. We're gonna make it look like a pizzeria in here, and when they come in from outside, they're just gonna be, wow, so excited. So let's set it up. Okay, I think that's good enough. The kids are gonna be wowed. I'm gonna show you a quick up close personal of these tables, but as I do it, I'm also gonna talk to you about where I got all this stuff. So my daughter is in 3rd grade, and her teacher is one of my friends as well. She does a book tasting, so she has a lot of these things, like the tablecloths came from her, cute little tea lights that are just battery operated. The little table numbers were from her as well. So very similar concept. So we were able to borrow all that, which makes it way easier. So we got the tablecloth, the tea lights, the table number. We made these with our machine that we have, a little chef hat, instead of spending money on buying them, but on Amazon they do have them as well. We have paper plates for every kid, so they're gonna color the edge brown and the inside yellow. We do have extra rectangles for yellow cheese as well, but I figured to give the back of it a background color. We have circles for pepperoni, triangles for sausage, and then the green squares are supposed to be peppers. So we have glue sticks for every kid, and they will just glue on their shapes. Afterwards, we'll have a talk about how many they used, and just a whole sharing concept too, which will be fun because they're all gonna try and grab like a bunch, but we wanna make sure everybody has some. And I'm excited. I think they're gonna have so much fun. Now I'm going to put on some music, if I can find some, for an Italian restaurant. Okay, how many times do I tell you guys I'm gonna get back on during lunch and then something happens? So it's Friday. I did all my shape party for pizza. It was super fun. The kids loved it. Super cute as well. And now it's almost time to go home. I'm gonna go over a couple things. I don't think I'm gonna have time to go over my slides. I'm just gonna tell you guys what we did. And then I'm gonna go home. And for social emotional, we did different feelings. And so it was a lot of conversations about if we felt different or the same. So we had our card, and it had 2 kids. One kid was going really fast on the bike and they felt kind of scared. Or no, they were happy, and then the one in the back was scared. So we talked about that, and then we did our little puppets. And then on the game day, I just had toy animals laid out, and we talked about what was the same about them and different. So like, these 2 have wings, but this one walks on 4 feet while this one flies. Same and different. And then for the like day 4, which was Thursday, we did another game, which was scenarios, and I divided them. I put them in the middle, and then on this side of the carpet, they had to go if they felt happy, or this way sad, or was angry, surprised, whatever it was. So like if it was like, if it's raining outside, does that make you happy or does that make you sad? And I would say go, and they had to go to which side of the rug that they felt, which is very interesting because a lot of them said happy for raining outside, which I thought they would be sad because they don't get to play outside, but then they said they get to jump in puddles, so they do get to play outside. So we just went through a couple of scenarios with that. And then today, Friday, we read a story called Angry Octopus. Okay, moving right along. For reading, you know, on Mondays we do our letter book, which was letter P. It was like a pig book. Then on Tuesday, I did a Maya book about characters. So we learned what a character was, and the characters were like this boy and girl. It was like a tree, and the one little leaf was left and he wanted to fall off. It was a digital book. But the focus was characters. And then on Wednesday, we do our cookbook. And on Thursday, there was an old lady who swallowed leaves, and we definitely talked about the character here. This is our first one of the year. You know, I do these all throughout the year. Instead of retelling, we did a activity as we went, just with like questioning of like, did she swallow it? Did she not? Did it hurt when she swallowed the shirt? Like things like that. And it was quick, simple, not really retelling quite yet. Maybe next week though. Okay, and then Friday was show and share. For science this week, we just learned about the seasons, and we did some Mayan books for spring, summer, fall, and winter, and a cute little song, and that's it. I told you it was gonna be fast because I gotta go home. But as usual, if you did like this video, even though it was fast and a little chaotic and all over the place, just like me, click that like button, then click that subscribe button so you can get more videos, and that notification bell so you can be notified. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.